Have you ever felt so tired, so weighed down, all that you wanted was to disappear? A quiet life, no people, no responsibilities, just being done. Well, here's the brutal truth. If you're dreaming of being done, you might as well already be dead. That line hit me like a wake-up call too, because the problem isn't the life around us, it's the pain that we're trying to medicate with escapism fantasies. Today, I want to show you 2 anchors that stop the cycle of running and help you to build real contentment. When life feels too heavy, many of us slip into escapism mode. And for me, it was imagining a cabin in the middle of nowhere, no deadlines, no noise, no people, just Andrew in a quiet little space on a tiny little farm property, getting away from the responsibilities of life. But the truth is that that dream wasn't actually about peace. It was actually about pain. And the fantasy, or the escapism, was my painkiller. Maybe you've felt the same, that if you could just shrink your life down small enough, then all of the aching on the inside would go away. But the reality is, you can change your location, you can change your workload, you can even cut people out of your life and still carry the same emptiness. Because the problem isn't on the outside, it's on the inside. So why do we keep running back to this fantasy of being done? The answer is unresolved pain. We treat the symptoms instead of facing the wound. We confuse comfort with contentment. Now, I mentioned at the top of the episode that I've been there. I've done that same thing. What about you? I'd love to hear from you. Maybe drop something in the comments and tell me whether escapism has been a challenge for you in your life. And maybe already you're starting to realize that actually the problem is not outside, it's the pain on the inside. You see, comfort is temporary and contentment actually gets built over time. Without any healthy rhythms, without the rest that we need, our options are only burnout or withdrawal. And here's the kicker. Escape doesn't reset you, it robs you. It steals your energy, it steals your drive, and it steals your sense of meaning. Let's take a few moments to talk about the 2 anchors that changed everything for me. Number 1, we call joy in divinely created purpose. Now that's a big statement, a big sentence that needs explanation, and that's what we're going to do. Joy in divinely created purpose. In other words, when you know why you're here, escapism loses its grip on you because you're not just existing anymore, you're contributing. If we look at these words here of divinely created purpose, we're coming from this perspective that believes I'm on the planet for a reason. It's also coming from the perspective of I'm not just an accident. I didn't just happen to arrive and nobody knows why or what I'm supposed to be doing, but rather, if we can engage the gear that believes I am here for a reason, there's something for me to do, we can start to get engaged with this truth that joy can be found in divinely created purpose, and that joy is the open door that leads us towards true contentment. The second anchor that I want to talk to you about is this idea of contentment in the rhythms of contrast. Contentment in the rhythms of contrast. 2 anchors that can help us to stop this habit of escapism mentality. What do we mean when we say contentment in the rhythms of contrast? Well, really it comes down to learning to stop well so that you can go well. Now, even when I say that sentence, that's putting your head into a bit of a tailspin, because we have all been raised, traditionally, we've all been taught that you're not allowed to stop until you've gone for long enough, for hard enough, and achieved enough. And then maybe you've earned the chance to stop. But actually, the better principle, the better practice is to set your contrast rhythms by learning to stop well first so that you can go well. It's like a car. It doesn't travel very far unless you put fuel in first. Wouldn't it be crazy to get in your car and say, well, I will let my car have some more petrol as long as it performs well enough for 200 or 300 miles? That's back to front. And yet that's what we do with our own soul and our own life. We need contrast. We can't be all on. We need off. We can't have all light. We need dark. That's why we've got night and day and night. It's so important because actually understanding contentment in the rhythms of contrast is all about recharging our soul for the mission. Remember, in point 1 here, we're talking about created purpose, that we want to be on mission in life, doing the thing that we were created to do. And in order to keep on doing that, it's so important that we understand these rhythms of contrast, because that's where our contentment can truly come from. You see, when I began to practice these two principles, the fantasy of escapism and being done started to fade. I hope that some of this is starting to make sense to you, that you don't have to keep on living with this escapism mentality, tricking yourself into believing that if I just could get out of here, I'd be happy. The problem with that thinking is that wherever you run to, you are there with you. And that pain on the inside has to be dealt with. And look, that's part of the reason why I created the True Self Transformation course, to help you to stop running from yourself and finally start building the life that you were designed to live. If you're tired of fantasizing about disappearing and you want to step into purpose, clarity, and lasting rhythm, then this course is absolutely perfect for you. There's a link in the description below, and you can check that out after you've finished watching the video. Also, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love you to drop a comment in there, firstly, about whether you've struggled with escapism, but also tell me if these two anchors are starting to make sense to you. Is it to do with the joy of created purpose? Is it about the rhythms of contrast for you? Drop it in the comments and let me know. Maybe there's another phrase you've heard me speak today that's really starting to talk to you. I'd love to hear what that is. Let's get practical for a moment or two. I want you to take a couple of ideas here of what you can actually action having watched this particular episode. Number 1, I want you to write down what your purpose anchor might be. In other words, take this sentence and try to figure out what goes in the gap for you. You can write down something like this, where you say, I am here to do what? And keep this phrase in front of you where you're going to see it every day, maybe on the bathroom mirror, maybe as a screensaver on your phone. Put it somewhere where you can look at it every day. You don't have to get this answer here in the gap perfect. Just try a few things. For me, it took years to figure it out, but I'm able to answer this now and say, I'm here to unlock people and coach them into fulfilling their full potential. That's who I am. I've discovered that that's my wiring, that's my divinely created purpose. And knowing that has helped me to avoid the escapism mentality. The second practical action that I want you to take is to plan one super intentional stop. Super intentional. Could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes, could be 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be much more than that. But a stop in your day or a stop in your week, somewhere in your diary where you have no phone, no noise, no escaping, and call it your stop well moment. Why is this? Well, we want to start practicing the fact that there is contentment to be discovered in the rhythms of contrast, not just on, but also off. Learning to stop well so that we can go well is building the foundation blocks of how to build a better life. A third thing that you could do, if you want to add to that list, is that at the end of each week, write down where this week did I live on purpose, where this week did I rest well. There's a few practical actions that you could take to start employing and implementing the truths in today's session. If you do this consistently, you'll find yourself beginning to build those building blocks of the life that you once thought you had to run away to find. In conclusion, let me encourage you with these thoughts. We don't need to dream of being done. Actually, we need to live with purpose. We need to stop well so that we can go well, and that's how you find real contentment. So, I want to encourage you, stay in the fight, keep showing up, trade escape for true meaning, and you'll be living the kind of life you always hoped that you would. I'd love to see you in another video real soon.